Hello and welcome to No Culty Vibes. I'm Cassie Marie, and in this video, we are going to be talking about Kate Middleton, Shelly Miscavige, some things that these women have in common, and just the latest updates and conspiracies about both of them. But first, before we get started, if you have not liked and subscribed, please do so. If you're into all things cults, pop culture, and trending topics, you will probably like sticking around this channel. So, like I said, like and subscribe if you haven't already, or share this with a friend. First, let's talk about Kate Middleton. Have you seen what has been going on with her lately? I admittedly was not really tuned into this. It wasn't until this latest Photoshop fail, which I'm going to get into, and the Associated Press killing the image, that I was like, okay, something is amiss, something is awry. I am interested in the royal family through the lens of cults and total institutions and authoritarian control, but I don't know a ton about like the conspiracy theories and like the regular day-to-day gossip about the royals. So it takes something like really interesting to pull me in. But thanks to ABC News, we can pull up a timeline of what Kate Middleton has been going through lately. Apparently, she hasn't been seen at all in public since Christmas Day. This is the last actual photo we have of her. It was from her last official appearance at church on Christmas morning, and it's Will and Kate and the whole family. And then on January 16th, Kate was admitted to a hospital in London, and people started freaking out. But on the 17th, the palace did issue a statement saying that the surgery was successful and that Kate was expected to remain in the hospital for 10 to 14 days. She would eventually return home to recover. They didn't give any details as to what the surgery was for, but they did say that it was a planned surgery and that she would likely not resume palace duties or public duties until after Easter. The thing is, the public was already asking about where Kate was, and they were not buying this statement. And people don't really trust that she actually just had a routine planned abdominal surgery. But on January 18th, William was photographed leaving the hospital. And on January 29th, Kate was discharged from the hospital. And February 7th, William resumed his public duties. But I didn't get, people were already talking about it at this point, and I just didn't get it because they said she likely wouldn't resume duties until after Easter. This got me though, because one of William's appearances was with Tom Cruise for London's Air Ambulance charity. And if you know about my channel, you know Scientology. I am like, Scientology is what got me out of my cult. And I talk about Scientology a lot. I follow it a lot. I've done videos with Liz Gale talking about Scientology. So this like caught me off guard as I was scrolling, and I was like, oh my gosh, cults and cults, Tom Cruise and Prince William, crazy. Anyway, doesn't really have anything to do with anything. I just thought it was wild. And then February 18th, William attended the BAFTA Awards without Kate. And this was crazy to everybody because Kate always attends the BAFTA Awards. She loves attending the BAFTA Awards. And William even said she's sorry she couldn't be here. She loves attending. She usually does. But it still follows in line. In my opinion, the palace said likely after Easter is when we were going to see her. But nobody has seen her at all, period. And I think where some of the distrust in the conspiracy theories come in is we always see royals. These women are photographed and paraded out in public immediately after they give birth. And it's just very rare that they are not seen at all by anyone, anywhere, even with a statement for so long. So people are just wondering if any of this is true. Then on February 27th, William misses a royal engagement due to a personal matter. And on February 29th, a palace spokesperson shared an update on Kate, but all they said was she's doing well. And they were just not really taking seriously any of the online speculation. Then on March 4th, we see a photograph of Kate Middleton, but she's in a car with her mom. This is the picture, and according to Matter of Fact on TikTok, this is Kate Middleton's kind of go-to when she wants to be seen in public, but doesn't really want to be seen and doesn't want to be quoted saying anything. A lot of people also said that her mom is kind of known for being like the stage mom. And people were kind of like, her mom was probably like, you need to be seen. It's getting kind of crazy online. These statements are not cutting it. Let's get you in the car. Let's do something and let's get you seen. Other people, though, are saying like conspiracy theorists and people who think like the worst is going on. They think this is fake or this is not Kate Middleton at all, that it's Pippa or someone else that looks just like her. Then on March 6th, the palace issues William's response to online speculation, but they basically just said his focus is on his work and not on social media. And then we get this photo, this one right here. Oh, I have a better view of it. Hold on. Then on March 10th, on Mother's Day, we get this photo of Kate posted on X, and this is the first official photo of Kate Middleton since December 25th. And mind you, they kind of said she would not be seen and we would not get anything from her until after Easter. She said that this photo was taken by William in their home because immediately people online were saying the trees and the grass are too green. This is insane. There's no way that this was a recent photo. And then they started finding a bunch of like bad Photoshop errors that immediately made it clear that this was a composited photo. The most logical explanation of this is that there are just things edited here and there. There are different faces from different photos pulled in to make it look like a perfect picture. Again, this is something that the royal family has done regularly, just kind of added faces from various photos in a photo shoot to make it look like the best picture possible, putting their best foot forward. But there were just a lot of errors in this one. And a lot of people said that it was kind of creepy and giving AI vibes right off the bat. This photo, the same day, was immediately picked up by several news sources because it was the first photo we got of Kate since December 25th. But starting with the Associated Press, most of those agencies retracted the image pretty quickly because they said it wasn't an authentic image and it was likely doctored, and they couldn't, with journalistic ethics and integrity, use this photo as a representation of the royal family because there are just too many issues with it. It's too fake, basically. The palace didn't say anything about this. They did not issue a statement. They didn't do anything. They didn't apologize. Instead, Kate Middleton the next day posted on Twitter or X again, basically saying, like any amateur photographer, I experiment with editing and I'm sorry for any confusion it may have caused. I wish everyone had a very happy Mother's Day because it was Mother's Day in the UK when she posted it. But originally, they had said William took the photo of Kate and their children at home a week prior. So now it was Kate being the photographer and editing it. And people just don't trust this and feel like it's still not adding up. And this isn't actually a photo of Kate, at least not of Kate right now. That was the end of the news updates on ABC News. But social media is still freaking out over this. And we got a photo again on the 11th of William and Kate supposedly leaving Windsor and Kate going to an appointment and William going to a public appearance. And it was another photo of Kate in the car, only this time we do not see her face. And it is a much blurrier, grainier photo where you can't see much at all. Let's look at it. So this is the photo. This is supposed to be William and Kate in the car. If you try to zoom in closely, like I can't really draw on the screen or point to her head, but her head is right next to William's. She's facing out the window, so you can't see. People on social media also pointed out that they think this picture is photoshopped. You can see the bricks above the car are a very dark red color, and there's not much mortar between the bricks. And the ones through the window are different colors, much bigger, and there's much more mortar in between. People also found some photos of Kate from kind of the back or the side that they think could have been used for this picture in particular. And then they think it was made so grainy that you couldn't tell a difference and couldn't spot like specific Photoshop errors, but the internet sleuths are spotting them anyway. So that's what's been going on with Kate Middleton. People on social media keep asking, where is Kate? And doing hashtag, where is Kate? The conspiracy theories are ranging anywhere from she had plastic surgery, maybe she had a feeding tube, maybe she had like some serious abdominal surgery, or maybe an ostomy bag and is very puffy, all the way to she is no longer with us. She's being held against her will. She wants a divorce or wants out of the royal family. There are a couple of theories about her alleged mistress and William's alleged mistress that comes into play. Those are interesting to me, but not necessarily through the lens of cults. So I'm not going to go into detail about those, but you can find them literally everywhere on the internet. But people are still not satisfied. They still feel like they have no pictures of Kate Middleton. And we're kind of just waiting till after Easter time to see if the palace was correct and if she starts making public appearances again and what's going on with all of that. Now moving on to the updates with Shelly Miscavige. For those of you that don't know, Shelly Miscavige is the wife of the current leader of Scientology, David Miscavige, and she has not been seen publicly for 17 years. So for much longer than Kate Middleton hasn't been seen publicly. But remember, Shelly was not necessarily a public figure. People didn't really know who she was inside Scientology or outside Scientology until Leah Remini started talking about her, because Shelly Miscavige is a big reason why Leah Remini left the cult of Scientology and began speaking out, because she asked at Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes' wedding. See, ties in earlier. William was with Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise's wedding is when it all fell apart for Leah. But she asked, "Where's Shelly?" Because Shelly Miscavige was not at the wedding with her husband, David Miscavige, and that's something that she typically would attend. She got in trouble for it. She had to do a lot of programs to answer for her crimes of like why she would ask something like that. And it was one of the final things that broke her shelf of all her questions about Scientology and led to her leaving the cult altogether. Since then, Leah has still been asking, "Where's Shelly?" She filed a missing persons report with the LAPD. Years ago in 2013, the LAPD claimed that they had made contact with Shelly Miscavige, but journalist Yashar Ali has dug up some information saying that that was a shoddy investigation at best, and they may have made contact with Shelly Miscavige, but the fingerprints didn't quite match up or don't quite make sense. He dug up a driver's license photo of Shelly Miscavige from 2010, which was like the most recent photo anyone has seen of her since 2006 or 2007. It's been a whole thing. No one has quite known where she is, but it has been suspected, or the most likely scenario was that she was at a super secret Scientology base called the Church of Spiritual Technologies in Twin Peaks, California. I'm going to show you the underground bunker and some of the photos of where people think Shelly is located. So this is Shelly Miscavige. She is much older than this now, but again, we don't have any updated pictures of her for like 17 years. Most people wouldn't know what she looks like now. And the CSTHQ is where she is suspected to be located right now. But a little while ago, Mark and Claire Headley made a video saying that somebody had dug up a voter registration for Shelly Miscavige that was filed in 2017. And this was like the most recent evidence that Shelly was still existed. Like no one has seen evidence of her existence in such a long time. But the voter registration put her at another super, super secret Scientology base in Petrolia, California. Petrolia, California is located just under the border of Oregon, and it's like a mile inland from the coast, and it's just super remote. There's not really a whole lot there. So people were like, "Oh my gosh, did they move her to Petrolia? Is she unable to escape because it's so remote?" There are so many conspiracy theories about Shelly Miscavige and where people think she is and what happened to her and why. So this just kind of sent people into a tizzy, and we were like, what is going on? Well, super recently, growing up in Scientology, Aaron Smith Levin, his YouTube channel is called Growing Up in Scientology, made a video saying that he has sources, staff or people who know staff or some kind of sources with Talon Security Agency, which is the security firm that Scientology hires to guard the Twin Peaks base, the one Shelly was originally assumed to be located at. And there are a couple sources, he said, within this that said Shelly is alive and well and living at the Twin Peaks base where we have assumed she has been this whole time. These sources say that Shelly is fine. She is not trying to escape. She is never asked to escape. So that's kind of complicated because she wouldn't really ask to escape even if she wanted to. But they're basically saying she's kind of living her best life there. She goes out and about. She has always loved throughout the years seeing Marvel movies on opening day. She goes to the chiropractor. She's had appointments. It's also a fairly remote location. And when I don't know, I kind of believe this because a lot of former Scientologists have a lot more insight as to why they're kind of burnt out on the "where is Shelly" question for so many reasons, one of which being that they think she's alive and well and fine. And some of the things that we think are really weird from the outside of people who are not in a cult or were never in Scientology are not as weird to people who are in Scientology and knew the culture and all of that. So I encourage you to watch Aaron Smith Levin's videos or Liz Gale on YouTube, Liz underscore Liz underscore Gale underscore Gale, Serge Del Mar. There's actually a whole community of people that are ex Scientologists that talk about different aspects of Scientology. But they're just kind of burnt out on the question of where's Shelly and think that she's perfectly fine. Shelly also, while being a victim of Scientology, also has been a perpetrator of some abuses at times, which happens when you're high up in a destructive cult, a harmful organization, toxic systems. It happens, but there are people who have been victimized and harmed much worse than Shelly that are missing, have been missing, etc. It's a complicated and nuanced conversation. I like that it gets people interested in Scientology, talking about Scientology, asking questions, but also agree with people saying this should not be our first priority. And with some of this new information that Aaron Smith Levin says is coming from sources of people that he has spoke to, please take it with a grain of salt. He does not have any physical proof right now, but as far as he believes and he knows, she is alive, she is well, she is not trying to leave, and she just doesn't want to be seen. Now, what is really interesting to me about both of these women and both of these conversations are the similarities in the movements and the questions people are asking about them and the institutions and cults that both of these women are part of. Shelly Miscavige was really high up in Scientology, a harmful and destructive human and child trafficking cult. And Kate Middleton is high up in and married into the royal family, which is a total institution and is extremely cult-like and has many similarities in the system and how it's run to the system of Scientology and how it's run when you're talking about authoritarian control, coercive control, things like that. Because we haven't seen either of these women in a while, the conspiracy theories around both of them are insane. There are allegations that Kate Middleton is being held against her will. Allegations Shelly Miscavige is being held against her will. There are people who think Kate Middleton and William are getting a divorce and their marriage is on the rocks. Same with Shelly Miscavige and David Miscavige. People think that like maybe they're going to get divorced. Maybe they have other lovers. Like there's a lot of speculation there. A lot of people think that both of these women want to leave. Why would they want to be in these dangerous institutions, these dangerous cults? They want to get out and they are breaking their indoctrination and don't like what they're a part of anymore. And then some of the even crazier ones are that they are no longer with us. Some people think that Shelly is not alive, and some people think that Kate Middleton is not alive, and they are covering up. Those are the more extreme, but the reality is something mysterious is going on with both of them. Whether they are the simplest versions of the conspiracy theories or the worst of the worst that they're not alive, which I think is less likely, there is still something going on, something being hidden, something being covered up, and it's piquing our curiosity and getting people talking and making people concerned. The most likely scenario, the most logical thing that we can conclude without further evidence, is that both women are fine. they're alive and well, or as well as you can be within a cult, within a total institution, within a harmful organization, but they likely don't want to leave. They likely are perfectly fine where they are, although something must have happened to for both of them to be in these situations. They both also have obviously been scapegoated in this process, and women are often made to take the fall for men in charge in the cults. We saw this with L. Ron Hubbard, the founder of Scientology, when the FBI was closing in on him. It was his wife, Mary Sue Hubbard, that took the fall and went to jail and then was sent away for the rest of her days so that she could never say anything bad about Scientology. And it's likely that something similar happened to Shelly Miscavige. She either knows something, or something was about to come out, or something could come out at any minute that they would need her to take the fall for. My mic very rudely died on me for the last 15 or so minutes of this conversation. So if you notice an abrupt change in lighting and video and audio, that is why. But continuing on with our conversation, there are a lot of similarities between these two women. And I think it's also interesting that it would benefit these cults, these institutions, these organizations the most to understand why people are intrigued and just be honest and transparent and forthcoming on social media. Obviously, the worse the situation is, the more likely it is that they cannot be honest. But at the very minimum, producing these women in some sort of more authentic way would help their case so much. But neither one of them seems to be able to do that, be capable of it, or want to do it for a variety of different reasons. I actually read a Substack article by Matta of Fact on TikTok. I mentioned her earlier in this video. Her Substack is called The Fascinator, and she talks about the royals all the time. It's super interesting, and it was a really good article about these recent developments and online conspiracy theories about Kate Middleton. And her underlying theory behind all of this is that the royals have just, in general, lost trust with the public. And this has been going on for a number of years. Obviously, we can point back to what happened with Princess Diana as an example of this. And since then, it's just gotten worse and worse and worse since the Queen's death. There are a lot of things that I think we can point to where it starts to decline, but it really does seem that lately there is even less trust of the royal family when it comes to anything. We just seem to think they can't tell the truth. And similarly, people really distrust Scientology. And there's a very good reason for that. We do have a lot of proof as to why people should not trust Scientology, all of the lies that they've done, the crimes they've committed, the people they've harmed. We have very good reason for that. And I think we have some proof of how the royal family is harmful as well, but it's just another similarity. I think it's very interesting. There's a lack of trust in both of these organizations. And over the years, with all of these gurus and cults and organizations being exposed, similarly with fundamentalists, Christian organizations, pastors, churches, uh like evangelical Christians being exposed for being harmful and kind of burning to the ground, people leaving religion in droves. I wonder if we're going to see a similar decline or collapse of the royal family in our lifetime in the years to come. Is this distrust and like evidence that the royal family is not going to have control of the narrative like they used to? They're not going to have the public trust in the same way that they used to. People don't like Charles. People really loved Queen Elizabeth. William and Kate seem to not be as loved as Harry was. There are just a lot of things that are making me wonder, is this going to change how we interact with the royal family in the future? I don't have any good answers to this. This is all just speculation on my part. I find it fascinating. I want to know what you guys think. I love reading your comments. I love seeing different perspectives and having you guys engage with the conversation. And it makes me think of things that I hadn't before. So I want to know, are you team conspiracy theory with one or both of these women? Are you more in the logical camps, like you just think that there's something we don't know, we can't really know what it is, but it's probably nothing too terrible or too crazy? What do you think about the similarities, the differences? Do you think we're going to see the collapse of the royal family in the future? I love hearing about what you think in the comments, so please let me know. That's all I have for this video. I'm sure I will make some with similar content in the future, especially based on what you guys say in the comments. If you have made it to the end, thank you guys so much. Love ya. And make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you next time on No Culty Vibes. Bye.